Hi, my name is Tanya Sanders, and I am continuing this series for this module of 8 to 9 videos, depending on how many learning management system videos you watch, on basic tools of getting started on teaching online. The one that I'm going to be doing right now is Zoom, and I'm going to be showing you through another screencasting app to demonstrate Zoom. Now, Zoom is the one I would be using for a screencasting, but Zoom will not show itself. So I'm using another recorder to show you the tools of Zoom. But it won't show, it'll show me in the video, which you're going to see in a little bit. You're going to see two of me's because I'm conducting a meeting through Zoom, and I'm also recording the screen with Screencast-O-Matic. So let's get started here. So what I do first is I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to select the account that I want through Google. I'm going to sign in through Google. Your district may be different. And then I'm going to choose the account that has the superpowers of doing whatever I like. Now, the default screen when we come in here is the meeting screen. It has all the settings on the left-hand side. We have admin settings in here because we are an admin of this account. You probably will not have the admin settings, but be aware that if there are some things that you want in your profile, in your meeting options, in your setting options, then your admin may need to turn those on. So you may need to talk to them. So I'm not even going to cover these admin settings. Profile just shows you all your account information, connection information, what version of or level of membership you have through Zoom, that kind of stuff. Webinars, you can connect to some tutorials. There's a great site for live trainings, tutorials, and knowledge base for Zoom to help you connect that way. Recordings, we save ours directly to the computer, so that's not an option for us to have those online. You may have them in the cloud, I'm not sure. And then, of course, the settings. I think you should scroll through each of them and just kind of decipher them for your preferences. And I don't start the meeting with the participants' video on. I start with mine on. Join before host is an option, and it's the default. And then I also have them require a password automatically just because it is important for security for students when they're interacting with you as a teacher with meetings and that kind of stuff, that they should have to enter a password. That way no one can hack into your meeting. But there's a whole bunch of settings here: enable chat, enable private chat, people sending private messages to each other, playing a sound when they join or leave. You're just going to have to look at these things. The polling option is, I have it turned on, and if you don't have that option when I show you the Zoom screen, and my screen doesn't look the same as yours and mine has some more tools, it might be because of these settings. Annotation, allow participants to use annotation tools to add information. That should be on. I do allow that. And allow participants to share whiteboard during a meeting. And then you can auto-save whiteboard content when sharing is stopped. So a lot of these settings are very important to conducting a meeting in the best way possible. Right now, I am using Zoom to do a lot of my videos to show you things. So clicking here, going here, over here on this link, go down, scroll down, look at this. That's called screencasting when no one's here. If I'm doing it with someone here, that's just a meeting, and that's live, and I'm doing some teaching through that. This one's super important to when you're having a live meeting, and this is the reason I'm bringing it up, because if you have 15, 20 people in a room, you can break them out and give them separate tasks. But a warning on that: they will not be able to be recorded while in that room unless you're in that room with them. So if you have 5 breakout rooms with 4 people in each room, they can ask for your assistance to come and help them with something, or you can just bop into everybody's room whenever you want to. So the breakout rooms are pretty awesome, and I'm going to show you that option when I get to the Zoom screen. But I would go through all of these settings and just see which ones are important to you to making your meeting run efficiently. Okay. So those are all the settings, and it saved that one automatically for me. And I'm going to go to meetings because that's the only other thing that's really important for me. And I'm going to hit schedule a meeting. And now you'll see that all these options are there. So I'm going to name my meeting, and I can have it be on a certain date at a certain time for so many hours. And I can have it reoccur. So I can have it daily, one day, or I can have it repeat 2 days, 3 days. I can have it be weekly. And then I can say every Tuesday it's going to happen from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then I'm going to say that it's going to end on, a certain date. Registration, what this does is it allows me to send out a live PD request where people can join me and I can teach them live or meet with them live. But also when they click on the link, it'll require them to register. And I want them to register for it so I know how many people are going to be there, how many to expect. And I can even put them in breakout rooms before, right here. I can pre-assign breakout rooms before we even get into it. And then I always record the meeting automatically. And like I said, I save it to my computer and not in the cloud. So I'm going to hit save because I've scheduled that meeting. I went through all the settings to make sure that they were perfect for what I wanted to do. And then to send it, I use Google Calendar when I'm working with teachers or administrators. But also you can just copy this link and paste it into your Google Classroom, your Schoology, in an email, whatever communication piece that you're using, a discussion board, and then allow the students to join you via that link and registering for that as well. So I'm going to minimize this. Let's see what happens. I'm going to bring up the Zoom meeting. Okay, so now this is surreal. You're seeing Screencastify over here, Screencast-O-Matic, sorry, same tool basically. And this is the Zoom meeting that I have started. These are the options down at the bottom. And this is the reason that I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, because if I didn't have Screencast-O-Matic recording, you wouldn't be able to see my buttons for mute, stop video, security, how many participants, chatting, what does the chat look like over here on the side, screen sharing. Multiple participants can share simultaneously, so 2 people could be sharing side by side if I wanted to. And then I have my sharing options that only the host can share, but I say all participants can share because I want everybody to contribute. And then I can resume or stop recording. Right now I'm recording only through Screencast-O-Matic because I only need one recording. So reactions, some of you may not be able to see this. This is when you see people doing the thumbs up or the clapping. That's where they get it, and that's from the settings and saying, yes, I want to have those available to my participants and for me. The breakout rooms, let's see what happens here. So I have 0 people in this meeting. So as soon as I start this, it will show me how many participants I have and then how many rooms do I want. In 3 rooms of 0 participants, 1 room, but yeah, you'll be able to break them up in groups of 3 or 5 depending on how many people you have, and then you can even manually assign them to certain classes. I usually do automatically, and then I hit create breakout room. You have other options when you get to this breakout room, and keep in mind no one's here, so it's difficult to demonstrate this to you without participants, and actually it's even difficult then because it'll only videotape where I am, so I could jump from room to room. So some of the things that are down here: move all participants into breakout rooms automatically, allow them to return to the main session at any time. They close after 30 minutes, and then there's a countdown when I tell them to come back. And it's really neat to see the options after you put them in the room. I can add a room and name it. I can recreate whatever I have in my settings. Like if I had in my meeting broken people down in pre-assigned groups, I could just clear all those out and start all over. But let's see what happens. Rename room. I don't think it'll let me. All participants have been assigned to breakout rooms. So I don't think it's going to let me go to a fake room, but it's pretty cool. So my breakout sessions will be going on, and then I can go in here and I can click on a room. So there you'd see the name of the rooms. I could click on it and then I would go to that room. And then they can also raise their hand or request that I come to the room, and then I can go there as well. And then when I end their sessions in their breakout, I can they can come back whenever they want, or if they sit there too long, they'll automatically be brought back to me. The polling option, you saw that in my settings. It's an option because it's there. Because in the settings I said for it to be there. I go back and forth between my chat and my participants. I'll have my participants up at the top, and then I'll have my chat down at the bottom so I can see what's going on. Also, while I'm sharing, so here's my share screen. If I'm sharing, for instance, my whiteboard, I can see when people comment because of the little sheet strip that I'm going to show you here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you basic. These are the basic things that I have open. I have multiple screens, so I have multiple windows that are options. If I had my iPhone plugged in, I could demonstrate things on my iPhone or my iPad. This is the desktop I'm on right now, so I could share myself of myself sharing myself. So that would be kind of confusing. But I can also do advanced, where I can connect to a document camera, and I can also do music or computer sound only, and then share something that's coming through my computer audio-wise. The thing I like about Drive or Files is that I can connect it directly to my Google Drive and pull things in from that Google Drive, or from your Dropbox or your Microsoft OneDrive. But I'm going to go back to my basics. Don't forget those tabs exist. And I'm going to click on Whiteboard, and then I'm going to hit Share. And this is the portion that I was talking about with teaching. Now, while I'm teaching, the students can write on this too. They can click on there'll be a little bar that pops up for them, kind of like this strip, and they can request to annotate and I can even make them. I can give them the rights to. But you can write, you can use a stamp, we can do various drawing tools and change, colors and thickness. I can clear all drawings. I can redraw some of these things. I can select and move them. And then I can also type some text. So you can teach from this. I could either teach live, or I could record myself teaching it. So when I go back to, also I can save this, by the way. When I stop sharing, so I can click on this and hit stop sharing, over here up in the top is my recording option. So I can start and stop recording. And when I'm in my share screen, I can also do that through mute, stop, all the things that I had before. Stop recording, resume recording, breakout rooms. So I still can do all of this stuff while I'm in the share screen option, and then the students can join me. It's a very interactive, collaborative process to be able to use Zoom to teach with. So this one, I could just record to no one like I am now. I'm recording for you, but I'm recording this and I'm going to put it on YouTube for you guys to look at later. This would be like when people say, I'm going to give you the recording of my webinar. Well, while they were doing the webinar with live people, having a live meeting, they recorded their actions, they recorded what they were doing, and they then saved that file. Because when it goes, and I'll show you here in a little bit when I stop my meeting, I'm going to stop sharing. Down here in the bottom where it says end, and I'm going to just end the meeting for all. And the reason I leave the meeting for all, or end the meeting for all, is because I don't want anyone staying after and talking while I'm not there. So I'm going to say leave the meeting for all, and you'll see what, hopefully I'll put it back in the screen if it doesn't do it. It'll start saving my video file. right here. So it's going to start converting my meeting recording. Okay, so my Zoom session has been ended, and the video has been converted. You saw that just before I paused. And now it's asking me to save my recording, and it shows me the location. Now, what I normally do is I go to choose a new location, and then I move it towards the folder that I want it in. So this is basic tools, and I want to choose that folder, and then now I'm going to hit save. So that is going to be saved directly to basic tool module, and it's going to put it right there. And basically this is the MP4 file that you're going to use. It has audio, it has everything you need for that. So the math lesson that I scheduled, you can see that it created a meeting for every day that I told it I wanted it to be there. So I can hit delete, and then I can delete this occurrence or delete all occurrences. But when I'm ready to start the lesson, so this, again, to reiterate, the 3 ways that I think you can use this. One is a live meeting. So if this is a live meeting, then I would give this link to people. The one that's right here, I would give this link to people, and they would register. Since this is a register link, they would register, and then they would be given a link to join the meeting on a certain date. I can also send it through Google Calendar if I want people to join me, and then I can teach however I want. But if I'm just doing this for me to screencast a math lesson, I want to do it by myself, no kids involved, I just want to record something, then I would start this meeting, and it's going to ask me to open. It's going to ask me about my audio, and then it's going to pop up this screen, and it's automatically recording. So I could pause and re-record and all that kind of stuff, and then I just go and I teach my class, where I share my screen and I go to my whiteboard, or I go to a certain file that I want them to look at, or my document camera, and I'm teaching them as if they're with me. And if I have to go find something or cancel something, I just pause my recording up here, and then I can continue on to find my things, like get ready to share a website, get ready to share a document with them, share a PowerPoint or a Google slide or something. But if I'm live with them, then I'm going to do things like breakout rooms, give them assignments in it, start chats in the background that'll help them understand what the lesson I'm trying to teach them. So meet with them visually, physically, talking to them, parents, students, record what I'm doing as a lesson, and use it as a collaboration tool, as a teaching tool with breakout sessions and things like that. So great tool. Zoom is a great tool, and hopefully these basics will allow you to start clicking around and exploring it. So that's the one thing that I would suggest if you're going to get used to using this. Maybe schedule your own Zoom recording, Zoom meeting, and then play with some of the tools without anyone there, or even have a friend join you. Just email a regular friend and then have a meeting with them and experience the tools together, and get a couple friends and then try to do the breakout rooms, and you can see exactly how that goes. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a really fun tool, really great resource for online teaching, because now that I have this video saved, I can put that video link that you saw a little bit ago on my desktop. I can go to my desktop, move all this stuff out of the way, and I can go to the Basic Tools module, and I can upload this video to my classroom as a file, depending on what classroom I'm using. I can put it in my Google Drive and share it with the students as a link. I can do all those lovely things. And in the Google Docs series, I'll show you how to upload things and how to get the shared link to put on your learning management system with your students. So I appreciate you joining me for this video. The next one is, I believe, Google Docs and sharing docs. So I will see you in that video as well. Thank you.